Ni no Kuni: Wrath of the White Witch is a brand new role-playing adventure developed by Level 5 and with animated cutscenes by Studio Ghibli and music by Joe Hisaishi. Ni no Kuni is a tale of Oliver. He's a young boy who goes to a parallel world in order to try and save his mother. His mother is tragically taken from him when he's very young, and he goes and follows a teardrop fairy, Drippy. It's a kind of a little familiar that goes along with them as a sidekick, and they go on this journey in this other world to try and save his mother, and of course he'll meet friends and become a stronger magician as he goes through. The gameplay, it very much is an interactive adventure. So the player is able to control Oliver in battles. You'll be able to freely control him and his familiars. So you'll be able to go back and forth. It's kind of a mix of real-time battles and kind of a strategic battles that role-playing gamers, have been kind of accustomed to. Oliver, he's not the strongest attacker himself. He's just using a magic wand for the most part. But he has a host of different spells that he can cast. So at the beginning, he's able to cast like small fireball spells, a little ice spell. He's also able to heal. But then as he grows more powerful, he's going to be able to unleash all kinds of spells in battle that will be able to attack, multiple enemies at once. And then outside of battle, he's also able to cast spells that will help him on his journey. The first couple of familiars that Oliver encounters, they will join him as part of the story. But as you get farther into the game, you're able to actually capture the familiars, and you get them to like you and they'll join you. So then you can really, customize your party with hundreds of different familiars. On the battlefield, the familiars can do a variety of different things. So some of them are just strong attackers, just, brute force just right out front. So they'll be attacking with swords, fists, different attacks. But then other familiars are more technical, so they're more spell-based. So they can cast magical spells that can either heal you or they can, rain destruction on enemies. There are some that are more support style, so they can raise your stats, increase your defense, a lot of different things. So the familiars that you bring into battle really kind of dictate how you're going to, play out that battle as you go through. There's all these just wonderful people in the world that they need help, or they have different requests that they have for Oliver or for other people who are willing to help them. So as the players, you can go through and you can just plow through the story and go through Oliver's main quests, or you can go to these side quests. The localization for the game, is something that's, very important, especially for role-playing games. So Level 5, as they took on the task of localizing Ni no Kuni, they wanted to make sure that the localization is done, to befit the Ni no Kuni game, to make sure that the experience that the Western audience has is the same as the experience that the Japanese fans had when they first played it. So because of that, a lot of thought has been put into the not just the script but also the voices. Everything that they're doing, they want to make sure that some of the nuances that were in the Japanese game, carry over into the Western game. For example, one of the things as they've gone through the localization, in the original Japanese game, Drippy, who is Oliver's teardrop fairy companion, he had an Osakan accent. And so that was kind of how they, he sounded a little different, but it was still familiar for Japanese fans. And so for the Western audience, a lot of the characters speak with, a British English accent. But Drippy, so what they did for the localization was they gave him a Welsh accent. So again, it's that just showing that he's coming from another world, and then it has that kind of that different take, but it still has the same feel as when a Japanese player first hears Drippy's voice in the Japanese version.
Whoa, what's all this then, huh? Curse lifted, is it?
We really wanted to make sure that all the fans who had come to know the game as Ni no Kuni would still be able to recognize it and find it. having a localized name of a game, it's like, Fight Quest, number 6. It's, even though it's could be more westernized, that doesn't quite mean that it has kind of the same feel as the original game. So that's why the name of the game kind of stayed with the original Ni no Kuni. It has kind of that sound to it that feels right. And then the subtitle, of course, was localized with Wrath of the White Witch versus the original Japanese subtitle. We're looking into the viability of the Wizard's Companion book, and if we have more news on that, we'll let everyone know. Ni no Kuni: Wrath of the White Witch is coming on PlayStation 3. It's coming out on January 22nd, 2013.